Hi Bussin' Fam, this is JJ Finley again, back on the Bussin' Fam channel, and as you can see, this is another one of the videos that I recorded, in the neon orange hat, but I just wanted to say, to those out there that are watching, God loves you, and it's one of those things where God has really been working on me about trusting people, people to say things to people, because it's one of those things where in the past I had people who I trusted that broke trust, and friends. There's been things where it just really hurt, and so it was one of those things where just recently I had something similar happened where some trust was broken, and God really had to work on me about, do you really trust me? Even though you said you really trust me, do you really trust me? Do you really trust that I can bring that one to you? Do you really trust I can bring people you can trust? Do you really trust that I am who I say I am? And I don't know if anyone else has been feeling this, but I reached a point where I just broke. I said, God, I can't do this anymore. And so it's one of those things where, when people talk about suicide and things like that, that's very real. It's one of those things where suicide is something that most people don't realize. It can happen to anyone at any time, especially if you let things get to you and you let yourself get in a place that's really deep and really dark. And that's where I found myself a couple weeks ago when I wasn't posting, and I just said, God, I can't anymore, and I'm gonna do this, and you're gonna have to save me because I cannot. And so after that, I really started to open up to people about, hey, this is actually what's going on inside my head. This is actually what's going on inside me. And, I don't know if there's someone out there that needs to hear this, but you need to open up. And I'm talking to myself as well. So I'm not just talking to someone who's watching this, but I'm also talking to someone else as well. You need to open up to people about what's going on. You need to open up and let people see the real you. It's one of those things where letting people see the real you is sometimes really, really hard. And it makes it even harder when you don't know if you have people you can trust. And you need to find someone who's in your corner and you need to talk to them. Sorry, my voice is very scratchy right now. It's kind of raspy. But find someone you can trust, someone you can talk to, because if you don't, you're going to make really drastic decisions and you're going to do something that you will regret and something that you wish you would never done. Your family's going to regret not being able to be there for you, whether it be biological family or family that you just, through different situations and stuff, you've come to call them family. And so it's one of those things where you need to open up, and that's something that God is also working with me as well. So you're not alone in this. And it's just one of those things where I guess this is turning into kind of like a public diary kind of a deal. But it's just one of those things where let people see the real side of you. And, people keep saying this to me, you need to do something for yourself. And I'm planning on doing that here soon. But I don't know what that's going to be. I really don't know. I've never really done something for myself where I actually planned it. I actually did it where it wasn't school, work, or church related. And where it was just it was me personally taking myself out and treating myself to something. I haven't ever done that, and partly because I was a child. before, but also just because I've never really felt like I could. I always felt like I had to put others before me. Kind of like that mom side of me, where I'm not a mom, but there's a side of me that's more of like a mom, more of a mother side of me that, always making sure others are taken care of before yourself, always making sure others have what they need before you, and sometimes even at the expense of yourself. Giving everything you've got to make sure that someone else has something, and doing whatever you can to make sure that they have that, or have whatever they need. And it's one of those things where it's been hard at times to do that, and one of the things that God really has been working on me this semester when I transferred into Valor is working on just sitting and receiving. So so that's what I wanted to say. It's one of those things where things are really changing in this world, and we're going to have to stand up for ourselves, and we're going to have to learn, hey, this is when we need to push the boundaries, say no, enough is enough, and we need to stand up for ourselves. People need to actually wake up and do their research about things, not just do what everyone tells them to do just because someone said it to do, but actually make a decision about it for themselves. And someone once told me that, I wasn't going to say anything to you because I wanted you to make a decision for yourself before I said something. And that's really wise advice. Sometimes we need to shut up and let people make their own decision before we put our mouths in it and on it. But it's one of those things where use wisdom with stuff and just be yourself and let God work through you and sit and receive. I know some of us, especially those of us who serve in the church a lot, serve in the house of God a lot, we tend to serve and give but never sit and receive. And we need to be better about that because we have so many people who are burning out, so many people who are getting exposed, and it's because they weren't sitting and receiving and letting God fill them and letting God be God. So, it's one of those things where be honest with yourself about where you are. I've just been realizing over the past few weeks, I haven't really been honest with myself about how I'm actually feeling, how things are actually going on the inside of me. And so I'm working on cleaning some house, and working on letting things get cleaned up. So, So that's all I have for today. These videos are getting longer and longer, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep it short, but there's no way to make these things short. So I'm sorry to all those who are really busy out there watching these, but so I will see you next time on the Bussin' Fan channel, and we'll see you there. Bye, Bussin' Fan. This is JJ Finley.